everyone, and welcome to our April webinar. My name is Justine Chappell, Communications and Marketing Manager for ZAPP. In today's webinar, I'm going to be showing you around all of ZAPP's add-on services. As you may know, ZAPP offers a host of tools and features that give you more control and access over your event management process. The features that I'll be going over today are the booth management, ZAPP Onsite, the gallery, and the single show promotional e-blast service. I'm going to give an overview of each add-on, walk you through a little bit of the steps for using them, and then tell you how you can request these add-ons for your event. So the first add-on is the booth management service, which can greatly simplify the process of assigning and managing booths for your event. This feature lets you upload your booth map and assign booths using dynamic, customizable tools to organize your ideal placement. So we've got a quick overview here. Again, you can organize booths with applicant details. You can assign booths using your map and then display the booth map and assignments publicly. And I'll talk about this at the end of our demonstration, but we do have Booth Map 2.0 coming soon. So stay tuned to hear about that. So let's jump right into how you use the booth management feature. I'll go in and I'm logged in here as an administrator in ZAPP. For the purposes of this demonstration, we have our event in which we have applicants either in the confirmed or accepted status. This will come into play later, but just for this demonstration, just know that this is after the application process and after we've invited folks and they've either accepted the invitation and or completely confirmed themselves by paying their booth fees. So the first step for managing the booth management, the booth map, is going to events and then clicking on booth management. I'll show you how you are able to request this feature for your event and then have this activated for you. So you may not see this menu option now, and that's because booth management might not be activated for your account. So we'll go into booth management and you'll see here we can upload the booth map. So I'm going to go in here and pick a file from my computer. And what I did is I kind of created this very simple, basic booth map as a demonstration, but likely you'll have your own booth map, which you'll upload here. So once you've uploaded this, and by the way, that just needs to be a JPEG photo or PNG or TIFF file, no larger than 10 megabytes, which is pretty large. So you should be able to upload your booth map here. So the next part of the process is assigning the booths. And so you'll click on Assign Booth, and you'll see we now have this check mark or plus sign cursor here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go to any part of the map and I'm going to click what I'm going to assign. So I'm just going to click right above booth number 1. And then you'll see this menu appear to assign the booth to a specific artist. What you'll first do is create the booth number. So you all likely have your own booth number scheme for assigning booths. If you aren't as familiar with this, there's many different ways that you can create a booth number, whether it just be the number like we have on this demo. This was booth number 1, pretty simple. But you could also add numerical or alphabetical characters to reference this booth number to something else. It might be the artist or vendor and medium type, whether it's painting or ceramics. It might be location. So if you have different street names and you like to keep that organized with your booth number, you might put in the booth name or the street name. It might be booth size. So you might want to have a corner booth, double booth, single booth, or you might want to categorize that in a specific way. Whatever you do choose, just be consistent throughout so that the booth number, which will get updated throughout ZAPP, can be shown and you know what they mean. So once you're ready to assign that booth number, we're just going to keep it very simple here. You're going to find the artist that you are assigning this booth. So here's where it comes into play, where you'll have this list here of all the artists that are in your accepted or confirmed statuses. If they're not here, that means they have yet to accept the invitation or pay their booth fees, so they won't be listed here. But once you have this big list pulled up, you can filter this list to make it easier to find the artist you're assigning. So you can filter by status or medium category. or you can sort them by specific ways. Let's say I just wanted to make sure I'm assigning my paintings first. So I'll go in here and I'll, click the person in the painting category. Then you're going to assign a pin style because you're placing a pin on this map. So you can pick it between different shapes and different colors. Now, these will depend on what you assign them to. If you have a specific pin shape or style for a specific group of artists, maybe a different color denoting, a different status of that artist, you can kind of assign that and make that kind of key for yourself. We're just going to go ahead and kind of do this a little bit randomly, since I don't actually have a specific style in mind. So I'm just going to create them, and I'm going to click Save Pin. And you'll see this gets added to our booth map. So if I click on it, I'll then see the artist and the category they're in and the booth number and be able to see that. I can also click and view their application if I wanted to. If I wanted to edit the information or edit the assignment, I can click Edit, and you'll get taken to the same page as before. So you'll go ahead and just, keep repeating this process of, clicking and assigning folks to the specific booth. And you can assign pins and give them different colors, and you'll just go through. So you have all your booth assignments. At the bottom, you'll see that the list becomes available. So as you're assigning them visually up at the top, you'll also get a list, and it'll say what kind of pin they have. You can come in here and edit those pins, or you can also delete pins as well, and they'll get removed from the map. You can also, once you have a long list going of all of your artists, you can filter this list as needed to be able to find certain folks. And then the last thing you can do for your booth map is actually display it to participants. So if I check this box here, that's going to create a URL link. And when I click on it, it's a front-facing web page that participants or whoever you share the URL with will be able to access the booth map. And they can interact with the map like you did, except they can't edit it, of course. So they can see who is assigned to what booths. Folks can check out who they're next to or where they're going to be, and the list will also appear as well, and they can sort and filter that list. So this URL can be shared with anyone. You can even make it public to attendees so they can find out where artists are going to be. So that is the booth map. Like I said, we do have a 2.0 booth map in development right now, which will be coming soon. And that will allow for even more customization and better functionality. This tool can certainly help you assign booth numbers more, swiftly and visually. But with this new product or this new version, you'll be able to adjust the sizes of the pins. I know that, booth maps can get pretty busy if you have a lot of booths. This is a very simple, small booth map here. So it'll allow you to, change the size of the pins and just have some more tools to make this a little bit more easy to use. So that is the booth map. The next add-on service that we'll talk about today is ZAPP Onsite. ZAPP Onsite provides festivals and fairs with a mobile responsive at-festival jury system to identify award winners. So you can score booths from any mobile device. Jurors can also add scores, comments, view your sitemap, and compare artwork seen at the festival to the artwork submitted for the initial jury. The scores all sync directly with ZAPP to determine award winners within minutes, and administrators can view scores from the administrator portal on ZAPP or export them into a spreadsheet for easy record keeping. And then all that information from ZAPP gets pulled into ZAPP Onsite so that folks can view the applications, booth number, artist data, everything, so that it saves you time building scoring books for the event. So let's take a look at the setup process for Onsite. Again, like before, you'll want to make sure that everyone that is going to be scored on site is in the accepted or confirmed statuses. Likely everyone in confirmed because they will need to pay their booth fees, but you might have folks that don't need to pay, so they might just stay in accepted. So as long as they're in either of these statuses, that's fine. The other thing that needs to happen is that artists need to have a booth number assigned to them. So they will not appear on the on-site on-site portal unless they're assigned a booth number. So let's just come in here and confirm. I actually did kind of assign all these folks some numbers, so we're good to go there. Everyone has a booth number. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go to the Onsite tab. Again, this is only appearing on your portal if you have Onsite activated for your event. And I'll show you again at the end of this to show you where you can sign up for all of these add-ons. And you're going to go to Adjudication Management. And you're going to just want to go through these 3 tabs to set up your on-site settings. The first is Adjudication Start Date and End Dates. Adjudicators, and for the purposes of this, we're calling adjudicators for the purposes of on-site, but you can also, they might also be called jurors in your case, or, reviewers or whatever it is. But for the purposes of ZAPP, to be able to differentiate jurors who have access to score applications in ZAPP versus adjudicators who have access to score booths at a festival, that's how we're differentiating them. So I might interchange jurors with adjudicators, but that's what we're talking about for onsite. So adjudicator start date and end date. Adjudicators will only have access to the onsite portal between these 2 dates. So this should be the dates of your festival when you actually allow scoring. If you are trying to test out onsite ahead of time, just make sure that your start date is early so that you can have that access. You can also upload a sitemap preview. I think I already have mine in there, so that's why it's not letting me upload. Oh, here it is. Yes, of course, the upload image for the sitemap. And I will just kind of upload that same booth map, and you'll be able to see when I get into the onsite portal how this appears to the adjudicators, but you'll want to have, a detailed map to be able to show adjudicators where to go to score specific artists. And then the next step on this page that you need to do is add adjudicators to your onsite scoring. So the jurors that have scored for your event that scored the applications will actually be listed here already for you. And you can basically turn them into adjudicators by selecting them. And so, this one's already assigned, and I'll go here and click it to the selected side. So that means that the adjudicator has permission to access onsite, and I will click Save. Now, if you don't have the adjudicator listed here that you need to assign, you can create a profile for them by clicking Add Adjudicator, and you'll create that username and password for them. Let's go back here. I'm going to have to refresh. There we go. So once you have those adjudicators assigned, you'll see this check mark saying everything on this tab is ready to go. We'll go on to the booth assignment next. So some adjudicators might only be assigned to score certain booths, in which case you'll assign them so that they have access to see that booth on the onsite portal. And you'll want to make sure that you're assigning every artist an adjudicator to have their booth scored. We only have one adjudicator for this demo purpose, so I'll go through here. When I click on the adjudicator's name, I'm going to be given the list of artists, and I can assign them by checking this here to give them access to that specific booth. And you can select all or select none to toggle between that. You can also have them, if they're only going to be scoring one category, you can filter by category and then go through and check mark all of the booths in that category. Again, for this sake, I'm going to make sure that this adjudicator account, mine, is scored to everyone. If any certain booths are not assigned specific, if any booths do not have the correct number of adjudicators assigned to them, you'll see a list below that says these folks do not have an adjudicator assigned. Right now it's showing me all of them because I have to click Assign Booths. Now that those are saved, that to-do list is gone. So that to-do list kind of helps, especially when you have hundreds of artists. You'll be able to tell who needs to still be assigned to an adjudicator. Now I can click Continue, and I'll be taken to the scoring page. Now this is where we're going to set up the scoring criteria that adjudicators will follow when they go to onsite. So I have a scoring schema here. I can either do it numbering or yes, no, or yes, no, maybe. That will give, yes and no's kind of are simple ways to score the booths for whether or not they should be considered for awards. And then if I'm doing it numbering like this, I can choose between 1 and 10, or maybe 1 and 100, whatever you want it to be, 1 through 7. Ascending would mean that 1 is lowest, 10 is highest, or I can switch that up. And that is the basic scoring schema. Then you have to set up categories. So categories allow you to create criteria for different scoring categories. If you just have one, you just want the adjudicator to give the booth one, score 1 through 10, you'll click category and your description might be score, and you'll weight that 100% and click that and save. So that allows you to say, okay, you're just giving one score, overall score. But if you do have different categories, what you can do is click add category. And, maybe you have different categories for creativity and you'll want to assign that 30%. Maybe you have one for technique and that you assign to 30% weight. And then maybe you have another one for originality, and that's 30%. I don't actually know, exactly what categories are typically used at festivals, but these are ones that I'm, assuming might be common. And then you can see here we've added up to 90% weight, so I need 10% extra. Maybe I might do like presentation of the booth is 10%, so I'll go ahead and add that. So when you create your categories, you'll just want to make sure that all of the weights add up to 100%. And you can always change the order of the categories. It's a little bit tricky to kind of get exactly, but then you just select set order and that order will save. All right, and then once you're done, you want to make sure you click save or save and finish. That will make sure that everything is saved and ready for you to go on the day of the event. All right, now what I'm going to do is show you the Onsite website. Like I said, Onsite is available. Oops, let me log out. Onsite is available for mobile devices. So most commonly, you might have adjudicators use this on their smartphone or iPad or anything that's a little more mobile. But I'll show you what the scoring looks like on Onsite on this computer, and then I'll have some screenshots to just kind of show you what it looks like on the mobile device. So when the adjudicator is ready for the day of the event, they're going to log in with the credentials that you created for them. They'll click login. They'll then be taken to the list of events, and they can click on it to enter that portal. And they'll be given the list of all the booths that they are assigned to. Again, it might not be everyone, maybe just the ones they're assigned to. They can use this to search for specific booths or artists. They can sort this list however they want, or they can filter by unscored or flagged applications. Now, when they get into the booth, they can click on that person and view the scoring card for that booth. If they want, they can click to view the thumbnails that the artist uploaded to their event or to their application for the event, and they can match up the images that they're seeing with the actual artwork at the booth. They can also view the description of materials and technique by clicking that. And if they want to flag it for some reason, they can, flag that booth. Now below, you'll see the scoring. If maybe there's a conflict of interest or there's some reason why they are not giving a score to the artist, they can click no score given, and that kind of makes it so that they don't have to score every category. But we're going to actually score it. And then they can either type in numbers or they can use the sliding scale to determine the score for each category. So they'll just go through here and give the scores out. And what the system will do is average out the overall score for them. They can also add any comments and they can include that there. And then they click save. And that's it. So they've scored that booth, and then they can move on to the next one. Once all of the scores are submitted, they will be done and everything is saved, and they can enjoy the rest of the festival, I guess. One thing to know about Onsite, oh, by the way, here's that site map. They can go and view that while they're working on it. ZAPP Onsite works best if adjudicators have consistent access to cellular data or stable Wi-Fi. If the internet connection is an issue on your festival grounds, your adjudicators can still score, but should do it in offline mode. And basically offline mode is the adjudicator will log into ZAPP Onsite while connected to the internet on their device that they're using. They will come here and load all of the booths. So they just load this list and make sure that everyone is loaded with the information. Then they can turn their device into airplane mode. Airplane mode will allow them to go through and score the booths, and it will save on their device, but not necessarily save to the ZAPP, cloud version where it's, saved across all devices. So they can just go through and score. Once they are back into good Wi-Fi, they can take their phone off of airplane mode and make sure that on every booth they've clicked save, and then submit scores, and they will be able to submit those to, ZAPP Onsite into the back end of ZAPP, and they will be synced across all pages. So that's one way to do it. Again, if you are doing ZAPP Onsite for your event, you can always reach out to the ZAPP team ahead of time to ensure that you have a plan for getting that good connection or making sure scores can be saved at your event. The last thing I'll show you for ZAPP Onsite is the back with the score. So if you then log in as an administrator back into ZAPP, you can then go to the Onsite tab and click on the score section. And you'll see this is the score we gave just now. And it will tell you whether or not all adjudicators have scored their booths. And it will list, the averages. You can show it by booth averages or by category averages to see, the different scoring categories, or adjudicator averages to see and compare the adjudicator scores for each booth, comparing different adjudicators. Then you can, once you determine your award winners this way, you can also download the spreadsheet, which I highly recommend doing, because once ZAPP Onsite has completed for your event, you don't have access to this for years in the future. So just download this for your record keeping, and you'll be able to have that available. So that's how you use ZAPP Onsite to, determine your award winners and scores. I'll quickly just kind of give you an insight look at how it looks on a device. So what I did is kind of created these to show you that it's mobile responsive. So when artists or adjudicators get in there, they can easily kind of work through on their phone and see how, this is a little GIF kind of showing you the same thing we just looked at, and it shows how you can use your device to score booths at a festival. And that is it for ZAPP Onsite. The next feature I have to show you is ZAPP Gallery. Gallery pulls applications that are in the accepted and confirmed statuses and creates a gallery view of your artists that patrons can view on the public side of ZAPP or directly on your website. So you can activate the gallery, and again, I'll show you how to sign up. The gallery tab of the event editor will be made available to you. You can add details about your event for visitors and adjust the display settings, and then share the gallery URL or embed directly to your website. So I will come here back to show you this. I'll go to the event management page to get to our event editor. And then because we have gallery activated, I have this gallery details tab available. And the first thing you'll want to do is adjust the display settings. So you can, all of these have a certain display setting next to a certain piece of information you can hide or display. You can go ahead and hide or display all of it or none of it. And so I'll go through each of these. Event start and end date. This is pretty simple. When the event is actually taking place, you can put the location of where it is. You can give it a specific event type, whether it's indoor, outdoor, or virtual. You can display your website, your social media handles, and then a gallery summary, which just will appear on the page and allow you to kind of introduce the gallery to whoever is looking at it. You can choose to display that or not, though. And that's pretty much it. That's really all you have to do, because it will automatically pull in the artists and their artwork that are in the confirmed and accepted statuses, with the exception of artists that opt out of being featured on the gallery. This is something that they can do in their artist profile to say that they do not want to be displayed on the gallery. So the next step is to share your gallery. So you can take this URL that we have, and I'll copy it, and I will open it up in a new tab so you can see what it looks like. So this is how it looks like on ZAPP. It'll have that event summary there. Again, events, location, all those things. And viewers can come here and look to see what artists and their artwork are going to be appearing at the event. They can click on the artwork to view more information about that artist or about the artwork. They can click through the images that were given on the application page. So this kind of gives them a preview of the artwork that will be at their booth. They can also visit the artist website to see more information about the artist. And then they can flip through those there. Takes a second to load. They can also show a list view of all of them. They can see their booth numbers as well, so they can know where to go to find the artists that they are previewing here. And of course, there's other ways to filter and sort this gallery, and they can search for artists or search by location of the artist. It's kind of a really neat feature. The other thing you can do is on the gallery's detailed page, you can copy this code, which allows you to embed the gallery itself on your website. So this can be used on most major website hosts, including WordPress, Wix, Squarespace, whatever it is. So whoever does the web mastering for your event or your organization can pull this code and put it into their website. And what it will do is it will kind of pull this page that you're looking at here into its own little window that appears on the website. So this allows you to publish those artists right there. So that's the gallery feature. I think it's pretty neat. And now I'm going to show you if you want to sign up for any of these add-ons that I've talked about so far, whether it's booth management, on-site, or gallery. To sign up for them, go ahead and go to the Help Center, which is right here under Help. And if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see this feature or this button, ZAPP Add-Ons. You'll click that. Then you'll see here we've got some basic information about what I've talked about today, and it gives you the pricing breakdown. So ZAPP Onsite we have for $200. ZAPP Gallery is also $200. If you combine the gallery and onsite, you can actually get both for $250, and you'll get $50 off in the eBlast, which is what I'll talk about next. So those are the costs. And then currently booth management is free with your current contract. So you just have to request it from us to let us know you want to use it. So if you scroll down, this is how you request it from us. You will fill out this add-ons form. You'll let us know if you want, both onsite and gallery, just one of each, or if you're looking for booth management. And you'll fill out this form with basic information that will go to the ZAPP support team, and then they will contact you to reach out and, square away the contract for these features and the payment, and then you'll have those features available for your event. So that's how you'll request any of those add-ons. I have one more thing to show you and talk to you about today, and that is the single show eBlasts. So as you may know, all shows are guaranteed to be included in the weekly Wednesday eBlast 2 times during their application cycle. The first mention will occur when you begin accepting applications. The second mention will occur when your deadline is approaching. But if you want a dedicated single show eBlast, we have that option available to you as well. This lets you target ZAPP artists in specific states and regions and in specific medium categories. We then create an eBlast for you that will include information about your event. You'll be sending a dedicated email with only information about your event to that list of ZAPP artists that you're targeting. And you also have the option to add an additional image or social media post to your eBlast. So we send single show eBlasts on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, and we only send one eBlast to a specific region per one of those days. So this makes it exclusive so that on a given day, an artist is only receiving one eBlast, and that eBlast is targeted to them based on their region and medium categories that they've chosen in their artist profile. So this really lets you kind of target to specific artists. You can request your eBlast a minimum of 10 days before your anticipated send date. eBlasts are reserved on a first come, first served basis because we do only send one to a specific region per eBlast day. So you'll want to recommend or you want to request one as soon as you know that you want to send an eBlast. And then the eBlast pricing is determined by the number of emails in your targeted list. So that the number of emails sent is, once you give us the number of or once you give us your desired region or states you want to target, and then the specific medium categories, we will, pull a report that determines the number of artists that eBlast will reach, and that will determine the pricing of the eBlast itself. So if I go to, we also have in our Help Center this Market with ZAPP page that will show you, for single show eBlasts with all of our information. Here's the general pricing breakdown. So starting at $200, and it goes up for each 5,000 artists that are being reached. So how do you do an eBlast? Basically, what you'll want to do is come to this page and review all information. You can review our eBlast refund policy too. You'll click this page, submit an eBlast request, and you'll get to our form. So the form gives us the basic information about what you're looking for, how you'd like to pay, if you'd like any of those add-ons of additional images or a social media post to go along with it. And then you'll choose the region, if you want to do it by region, which regions you want to send to, and then selecting which medium categories you'd like to target. Once you fill out this form, me, because I handle this process, will respond to the date of your eBlast. I'll respond with the date your eBlast will be sent and a pricing quote depending on this, criteria you've set. Then you'll confirm whether or not you want to move forward. If you confirm, we'll send you an invoice, and you have 5 days to pay that to secure that send date before it gets released to other parties. Once we've confirmed payment, you'll be booked and set. And then about 2 weeks before the eBlast, we'll send a proof of the eBlast itself. Here's a little snippet of what an eBlast looks like. We'll send you this proof so that you can review the information, make sure it all looks correct. If you want to change any of the copy in the description, you can. And if an image is included, if an image is included, it'll be included right here below the Apply Now button. And then you'll be able to, see if that looks good. And if it is good, you can just approve that. Once that eBlast is actually approved, then you'll be good to go, and we will send that out on the scheduled eBlast date. So again, if you have more questions about this or want to review more information, it's just in the Help Center under eBlast and mailing lists, and you can scroll down to view that information. This concludes our webinar about the add-on options for ZAPP. I hope you gained some helpful insight or are inspired to try some of these features on your own event. If you have any more in-depth questions or questions specific to your event, please contact us at zapphelp@westaff.org. Thank you so much for joining us, and I hope to see you at our next webinar next month.